Good morning, Rose Red Homestead, and welcome to another micro moment. As you can perhaps tell, we are out in our greenhouse. This will be our first greenhouse video for this brand new season. And our greenhouse did pretty well through the winter. You know, we pump air between two pieces of plastic. So this is like a balloon, and there's about 4 inches of air from this point to the equal point on the other side, and that helps with insulation a lot. It weathered the winter. We had snows, we had big winds, we had rain, so I'm really pleased. You may remember that we had quite a flood in the summertime, and bless Jim's heart, he mucked out most of the mud that had accumulated during the flood, and we were out here yesterday doing some more cleanup. We're having to redo a few things, but it was not major. So our purpose today is that we're going to be starting plants, little starts, for a new project. I am going to be working this year on growing greens in the kitchen. Many of you know that we're having a little bit of remodeling and new storage areas built in our kitchen to house all my canning equipment. So one of the places we're building new storage cabinet is in the bay window area, and there's going to be a countertop on that, and that is a south-facing window, which is perfect for doing a little bit of indoor gardening. So I have some supplies and we're going to get started, but the first thing that I want to show you is this is a heated grow area for when we do sprouts. We're under high wind warning today. It hasn't started yet, but we're expecting it. And then for the next number of days, we're going to have snow. And so the temperatures are going to be much colder. And so I need heat underneath these starts in order for them to grow and survive long enough until our kitchen gets completed, and then we can move things in the house. Now, ultimately, I have 7 of these little containers that I'm going to be using for a lot of what I hope to grow in the kitchen, but I'm going to be starting them in these flats out here in the greenhouse until the kitchen is done. And so I wanted to, and I've shown this before, but underneath this white, this used to be red and white, little squares like a country kitchen tablecloth, but the sun has taken all the color out of it, but the plastic is still really good. And underneath here we have what is known as reptile tape. Now this is a piece of 4-inch reptile tape. Jim and I used to raise ball pythons for a decade. We sold ball pythons in beautiful colors. We did genetic adjusting of their colors, and we had a great time for a decade. And this heat tape is great for putting under. Now ours is 11 inches wide here. So this tape isn't this 4-inch wide, it's 11 inches wide. It's sitting on a piece of masonite that is 12 inches wide. And then it is covered just by this tablecloth material that has a little fuzz on the underside, a little piece of flannel. It's flannel backed plastic, and so there's a little bit of a cushion. And then it is powered by what we used to heat our reptile cages with, which is a Helix thermostat. This one quit working and we have a new one over here, but you can see that it connects to I can plug in several strips into here. This is the thermostat control, the temperature measurement that slips underneath so that I can measure what the temperature is. And anything that is covered by this white, used to be red and white, plastic has this reptile tape underneath it. We think it is by far more economical to do heating underneath starts than it is to buy the heating pads that go underneath for starts. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the 12-inch wide heat tape in our Amazon store, but just go there to look at it so you can see what I'm talking about. The Helix controller is not in Amazon. The heat tape in Amazon is too expensive, so don't buy it from our Amazon store. While we appreciate your loyalty in purchasing things from our Amazon store, because we split the proceeds from that for a couple of children's hospitals, made our donation to the hospitals in December around Christmas time for last year. We do appreciate it when you can purchase from Amazon, but for heaven's sake, more important to us is that you are getting the best bang for your buck. So if you're interested in looking at the tape, go to the Amazon store just to see what it is, and then go to reptile supply houses. I don't even remember any right now, and the Helix controller is the best controller on the market. Things have gone up since we were in the business. We shut down that business, what, Jim, about 8 years ago?
Something like that.
So these are just all leftover things from our snake business that we are repurposing here in the greenhouse. So let's get on to what we're going to do today. So because I'm going to be doing these in the house, I asked Jim to get me some potting mix for indoor use. And so that's what this is right here. And so I'm just going to fill this little flat with this potting mix. This really feels nice. Soft, very fluffy. Okay, so now I'm just going to mash this down. Respread. And remash. One of the casualties in our flood was my beautiful seed box that I made by hand from a cardboard box and covered it in pretty contact paper and put flower pictures all around the outside. And I lost about 10 years worth of seeds that I had been saving. And so I've had to start all over on seeds, and I decided I was going to get something that is a little bit more flood proof. And I will put the link to this in our Amazon store. It really is very convenient. It is a hobby kit, a hobby case where you can put, I think it was made for sowing things or whatever, but it works great for seeds. And so I have been purchasing some seeds, and today I'm just going to concentrate on lettuce, mostly just lettuce and greens for right now. So I'm just going to stick these seeds on the top and then sprinkle some light soil over the top of that, and then I'll dampen everything. And then I'm going to be putting a cover over the top of these. And I just used my damaged ones just to kind of help maintain moisture and hold in the heat. And so in the daytime, our exhaust fan is now going off. Well, that exhaust fan thermostat is set at 90 degrees. And boy, I'll tell you, it is such a powerful exhaust fan. It can knock down a grown man, but it just blows out the heat right away. And that's been going on the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's been going on 4 or 5 times a day in the heat of the day. So that kind of keeps it cooler in here. Plus, in the cold, cold nights, we have the heat tape underneath, and I'm setting that at 80 degrees. So these should get a good head start, and then we will move them into the house just as soon as everything is finished on the inside. Now, lettuce is not the only thing that I'm going to be growing. I'm also going to be growing spinach, and I'm going to try some tomatoes and try a lot of other things, and we won't be doing it all at once, and we'll bring you along on our adventure as we are planting. So I will also be doing some microgreens on that spot, and I am collecting microgreen seeds. This is a little bit of buckwheat right here. This is peas. I have a bag of peas that I'm going to be putting in for microgreens, and I have quite a few seeds that I'm going to be trying. So this should be a great adventure for all of us. This is beets. This is also for microgreens. And so I'm pretty excited to start building up my my seed library once again in a more protected case. So I'm going to get this planted, and then I'll bring you back just before we shut it down for the day. Okay, so I have in this row butternut, these 2 rows mixed lettuce, these 2 rows romaine, these 2 rows Simpson lettuce, then I have parsley, oregano, and spinach. So I'm now going to just mist the tops of these. I've added a tiny little thin layer of potting soil on the top. Okay, and then because we want the seeds to think like they are completely underground with no light, we're going to be putting this on, and I'm just going to put this on here for a little extra weight. It's going to take more than just that one. And closing up my seed box so they don't get wet. And we are now ready for them to start to grow. So we will be doing continuing saga of videos on growing greens inside the kitchen. So we will see you at our next micro moment.